I know Eric, excuse me if I pronounce your last name wrong, Shoopkigel, I think it is, has been curious about this machine, and I finally got a hose for it. Well, actually, I now have two hoses for it. I ordered this one a while ago through a local vacuum shop. This is the most recent hose, and I was getting kind of impatient with it, and then this one happened to pop up on eBay. Um, and the price on this was fine, so it's like, you know what, it's like I'm just going to order this one. I'm going to modify it to fit a 32 or inch and a half hose end, and then we'll just cancel the other one. Well, I get this in, and the very next day I get a message from them saying the hose is in. It's like, well, too late now. Oh well, I guess I'm going to have two hoses for it. So I don't have the proper connections for this, so we'll do the testing with this hose, at least for like the wand and the power heads. But just out of curiosity, we will be taking an airflow measurement at the end of this one too. This was the style, before they switched over to this, and the end of the hose on this is 1.25 inches, and it's the same as their Aria line. I'm guessing it's just a lot easier to have, one fitting, one connection, rather than having two of them. Because this would have had a 35 millimeter button lock style wand on it. And of course we have the relief valve in there. And yeah, this appears to be the same as the the hose on my Fairfax. So I knew, this was only connected via glue, so I just got my heat gun out and heated that up until it came off, and I've got a metal 35 to 32 on the way, and I was just gonna take one of the spare rainbow button locks I have and connect it to the inside of there, connect this with glue, and it would have been a fine 32 wand, or 1.25 inches, whatever. But yeah, I think we should get on with things. I've rambled on enough. So we have our ambient voltage, switch the machine on, and like I have mentioned, this does use the same motor now as the Aria does. It's just the motor in this one isn't quite as healthy as the Aria's is. I think people often mistake these for some sort of like wet dry vac, and they probably don't use the bags in them like they should. Because I know the first HF6 I had, which was the old style with the speed control and the dual stage motor, that was that thing's motor was shot, and that's also when I learned you cannot work on a rotofill motor due to the dynamic balancing on them, because you will never get them, without any sort of tool assistance, to get the balancing on it right. You're just going to throw the entire motor out of balance, and you'll make it even worse. So I've learned my lesson on there. You don't screw around with the rotofill motors. Just replace them. And now we put the newer hose in, so let's do this again. Turn the power nozzle on. Alright, so filter-wise, we have the bag. This one's a HEPA bag, but they have made paper ones for them. We have a spongy pre-motor filter, and then we have an after filter, which I'm just using the electrostatic ones. So, an electrostatic flat filter. HEPA filters are available for them, but I just don't find it necessary. So We'll start with the airflow at the base of the machine. See, it does have a slight noise to it, so the motor isn't in ideal health, but, you know, I'm not going to take this one apart and ruin it. Alright, so there's a little bit of an opening right above here, so this is going to be a little difficult to do. Just worth noting that this gray hose, the old style hose, is quite a bit longer than the new style one. I kind of wish it was a little bit shorter. I think it's a little bit awkward to use at this length. I mean, sure, you know, you leave the canister in one place, but it's more hose that you're managing, and I just don't think it's necessary. That, and, you know, the longer the hose, the more airflow you lose. Alright, we'll start with the old style hose, and then we'll put the new one on. Okay. Alright, now we got the new style hose on. And before I forget to mention, one thing that irks me about this new style hose is just like the Aria hoses, it doesn't swivel all the way. The old style has a 360 swivel, but this one only rotates about 180 degrees. Which, you know, seeing how the Aria was designed, there's just a little tab of plastic that prevents it from making a full swivel. I'm gonna guess it was done to combat shorts, but I don't know. Let's just make sure that's closed. Now we'll do the suction. Sorry, camera's upside down. And I'm just borrowing some parts from the Aria, because this does not have its own set of a wand and power nozzle, so I'll just borrow its, since they're the same anyways. Alright, my battery's getting low, so let's do this quick. The HF6, it's a pretty good machine, at least I think so. It does have some flaws to it, just like any other machine. Like that, you know, hose not swiveling all the way around. I find that just annoying. But I mean, it's not overly loud. It's got a great power head to it. Power, pretty good. Pretty good. Filtration, even with the electrostatic filter, I feel it's going to do more than fine. And of course, there's always the option to upgrade to either a charcoal or to a HEPA filter if you feel it's necessary. But I think with it having a HEPA bag, the electrostatic one is just fine. But yeah, finally got this one done. Yay.